I would like people to know that it's okay to be different, to never be afraid to be, different and to stand out, and it's okay. Yeah. For me, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. I mean, for anybody in Sierra Leone at the time, it would be horrible. But also because of the fact that I was born with vitiligo, which wasn't a disease, it was just a skin condition. But the people in Sierra Leone, because they were very uneducated, didn't understand that it was a skin condition, and they thought because of my vitiligo that I was a child of the devil. So they assumed that if anything bad happened to their crop or if somebody got sick in the village, it was my fault because I was a child of the devil. And so when my father was shot and my mother soon after starved to death, my uncle brought me to the orphanage and I was left there all by myself. And there were 26 kids in the orphanage before I was there, and then when I came, I was number 27. We were ranked by numbers, which was number 1 was the favorite child and number 27 was the least favorite. And number 1 was the favorite, which meant that she got the biggest amount of food. And then it came down to number 27, which meant I got the least amount of food and I got the last choice of clothes in the orphanage. And so I barely had anything to wear and I felt very unloved. And, of course, I was very lucky in the orphanage. I had number 26, who was my best friend, and she helped me through everything. But I needed an adult figure who loved me and showed me that I was going to be okay. And then I met a teacher. She was our English teacher in Sierra Leone, and she was there for me. She helped me. She tried to teach me many different languages and mathematics, and she was pregnant. And when I saw her murdered in front of me, it was devastating. And, for me, it was very hard because it was, again, another time when I lost somebody who I cared about. And then that's when I realized, I can't show people that I love them because obviously something bad is going to happen. And then I found a picture of a magazine. And because of that magazine, Teacher Sarah knew that I think Teacher Sarah, when she passed away, she knew that I was going to be okay. I think that it was okay for her. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but, I was somehow going to be okay because of this picture. And this picture was my hope. This picture was my light. This picture inspired me. And the reason this picture inspired me was because this person looked happy. And this person was a ballerina. And I had to be this person. And when I got adopted, I assumed that, my mom would have my ballet slippers and everything, but she didn't. But she understood immediately once I showed her the picture of the magazine, and she knew I wanted to become a ballerina. I wasn't supposed to be adopted because of the way I looked. A lot of people tried to adopt me, but they didn't want to because they thought I would always grow up with, bad self-esteem or have problems and with the way I looked. But my mom was going to adopt a girl named Mabinti. But I also had the same first name as Mabinti. So when she called the agency, she said, "Oh, I want to adopt Mabinti." And they said, "Which one?" And then they said, "We have another one, but she has a skin problem and nobody wants to adopt her." And then she said, "Oh, we'll take her. Let me see her." And my mom also had vitiligo, so she understood. And she's like, "Oh, this girl's going to be fine." So she calls my dad, who's in Japan, and says, "Oh, I want to adopt this other girl." My dad says, okay, bye. And he's sleeping at the time. Calls her the next morning and says, "Oh, I had the funniest dream. I thought you said you wanted to adopt another child." And my mom said, "Oh yeah, I already did all the paperwork. It's already done." And then they ended up adopting 2 girls. But I had no idea I was going to get adopted with my best friend. And, I assumed when we were on the plane that, okay, this is it. I'm never going to see my best friend again. And I didn't know what kind of life I was going to have in the U.S. But as long as I was with my best friend, it was going to be okay. But I was so lucky. Yeah. When I first started ballet, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was going to be the easiest thing. Of course, it was hard, but I thought getting up there to become the ballerina would just be a breeze. I never thought it'd be a problem that, the fact that I was black. I knew because of my vitiligo, maybe they wouldn't like me, but the fact that I was black was just surprising to me. I remember my mom always wanted to help all of her kids. I'm the 9th of 11 kids that she's adopted. And she's always wanted to help, and so she asked my teacher, what can I do to help Michaela? What different point shoes, more lessons. And my teacher said, "Well, we don't put a lot of effort into the black girls because they all end up getting fat and getting big thighs and big boobs." And my mom was really surprised, and I was very upset about this, and I just assumed if they're thinking this now, I'm only 8 years old. How is this gonna, affect my life later? And then I haven't gotten roles because of the fact that I was black. You know, it was very hard for me, and I've struggled with it. And you know, I never noticed it. And even when I would look back now at the pictures, I was the only black girl in my class for most of my studying years. And you know, now that you look at it now, I'm in a company, I'm the only black girl there. And in most companies, there's no black ballerinas. And it's very sad, and I think, you know, this needs to change. Yeah.